everybody, welcome back to Boomin with Bella. I am your host, Bella Lainez. Today's episode is on something very special. Rauw Alejandro's Cosa Nuestra World Tour, which I got to see in none other than La Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico. I know, amazing. Don't talk to me about Bad Bunny residency tickets though. I have not secured them yet for me or anyone in the family, and it's really bothering me. Anyways, we haven't secured Bad Bunny yet. We did secure Rauw Alejandro back in November or December of last year, like right after the album came out. Like I listened to it like 2 times in, decided I loved it, and would go see him. By the grace of God, got 2 tickets to see the 3rd show on Saturday, June 7th in Puerto Rico. Sometimes I do wonder if I'm more of a Rauw girly than, I don't know, sometimes maybe Bad Bunny. I feel like Bad Bunny is just different than Rauw. Like they're the same but different. I think I became and found Rauw on my own versus like Bad Bunny, which was kind of shown to me by friends, and you know, it was kind of an undeniable force where it's like, why wouldn't I be listening to him, you know? He became such like a broader, bigger than life sort of artist. I feel like Rauw is like special to me. Anyways, I already did an episode on Cosa Nuestra itself, so you know how I feel about the album in general. So first of all, also, before we dive right into it, let me, one, tell you to follow at Boomin with Bella on Instagram and TikTok, and on all social media, as well as Isabella with 2 A's, Lainez, to see more like collaborative posts, I guess, to like drive you to both. But let me apologize for the state of where we are. If you are watching on YouTube, hi. If you are listening, good, enjoy. You don't have to see this mess. So I came home from the city to pack, and my family is flying out to our family vacation, so I came home obviously to pack because we're checking luggage, so that means I could bring even more of my clothing options. I already always overpack, so now like when I'm checking a bag, like I can seriously overpack. I obviously had to do like my beauty maintenance. You guys saw what my nails looked like, so check them out. They're chrome, they're blue. They're growing on me. You guys know that I'm not a blue like nail person. It's always like a red, a neutral, like a brown or a French, or like a white chrome or red or pink. I barely pop out with something like blue. Blue, green, yellow nails, orange nails, like those are not really my thing. It's like the reds, the pinks. I think I did a purple once in 2023. So this is my proof to you that they are done and they're nice. We're back here in Jersey to get ready to go, but I wanted to get this episode recorded so I can like edit while I'm on the beach, have this out in a relatively timely manner, but I'm on the floor in the cleanest part of my room. And I forgot my LED light. My mini portable one is not charged, and unfortunately this is just how it's gotta roll. You know, I try my best, and sometimes we just gotta make do. So I hope things don't look too crazy. I hope you can still see my lovely Rauw Alejandro Cosa Nuestra Tour sweatshirt. And yeah, the floor of one side of my bedroom in my, not childhood home, but like teenage young adult home. Well, let's get into it. So you obviously already know how I feel about the album. Loved it. For me, what I like upon listening to it months past now is, one, its longevity. It's not like super trendy, like the songs will last and the songs will keep circulating, and new songs I think can get popular over time. A lot of songs that I originally maybe wasn't the biggest fan of, I am now. For example, Mil Mujeres. I think Cosa Nuestra, the intro, I don't know if I clarified that on the original Cosa Nuestra episode, but now I am obsessed with the intro. The intro song, Cosa Nuestra. Committed. I'm addicted to that song right now. Favorites keep coming up. And when I was in Puerto Rico with my grandparents, we listened to like the radio stations there, and they were playing Que non-stop. So I heard that all the time, and I really liked that, and now I associate that with like driving around Puerto Rico. But I think even more so, like as the album kind of was talked about, as Rauw did more interviews, as he did the Cosa Nuestra radio show on Apple Music, which I've been listening to, I like the story of how it's about an immigrant. Hold on. I have to mute my cousin. He's ranting about the Mets. Sorry, Sebastian. Anyways, I like the story about how it's an immigrant, one who left La Isla, came to Nueva York. There's parts of the album where he's missing La Isla, and I think it's just a beautiful project. I mean, seeing it live definitely helped envision more of it to me because it was broken into 4 different acts. I wish I had like the newspaper with me, but at the end of the concert they like passed out newspapers. Oh, by the way, completely sold out of the Puerto Rico exclusive merch, which I was really sad about, but hey, I didn't need to spend $200 on merch, so it's fine. Broken up into 4 different acts. There was an MC, or like a host of the night, so he would kind of like explain the acts, and like the acts were basically just a way for there to be an easy set transition, so I didn't mind it. I actually liked it because it was kind of like you got to sit down for a second. I remember when I went to Fertrolipsis, I don't even know if it was like an outfit change or if it was just like a water break or if it was something, but like when he would leave the stage and it would be like these video clips, I remember feeling like those took a long time, and it wasn't like, I don't know, anything super entertaining wise. This, at least, like you sat down, you got like a minute, and then you were standing back up. At one point, the MC started explaining the history of salsa music, where it came from, where the instruments came from, how each instrument was introduced, where the genre went after it was kind of established, you know, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And I thought that was really cool. I grew up with salsa. I grew up hearing it. I grew up detesting it at first because that meant that I would have to get out on the dance floor at my abuela's New Year's parties, and I didn't want to, but I eventually grew to love it. And now, like, to me, all of those songs that I was like, oh my god, they're gonna pull us out onto the dance floor, like now they're full with such nostalgia, and I go like out actively seeking salsa. Like I'll look for salsa nights, I'll look for salsa lessons in the park, those sort of things. 90% of my playlists for family parties and gatherings and stuff have been like infiltrated by salsa, so sorry. So I enjoyed that part. I liked the 4 acts because it showed like the story, and I like that he was able to incorporate a little bit of vice versa into this show, a little bit of Saturno. Like there was a little pieces of all of his albums which I really liked, because I don't think that there's an album that he has that I don't really love. I was introduced to him with his album that came out in 2020, and then from there I've just kind of become obsessed, and all of his albums I really liked. Saturno being the one that took the most to grow on me, I know, but like by now I'm a full Saturno girl. Like I get it, I got it. But Playa Saturno I got immediately, so I don't know what the holdup was with Saturno, but I've got it. Cosa Nuestra I've got as well. I like that he was able to incorporate all pieces. I like that he was able to tell a story. It's definitely going to be a part 2 basing on how the show ended. Essentially, my takeaway and my interpretation was that it was like a take on West Side Story, but more so about the mafia, less love triangle-y. I mean, there's like a little bit of a love triangle, but not to the point of West Side Story. Well, I guess it's maybe not as much as a focus as West Side Story. And like the costuming, the like set design remind me a lot of West Side Story, but like maybe not. And just the fact that the girl's name was Maria, like maybe not, but a little bit of like Godfather, a little bit of West Side Story, you know, different aspects from all these like major things, and a little bit of like dialogue to make it more so of a story. I honestly wasn't bothered by all of it. I know that some people maybe who came for like a concert, like they're not looking for dialogue, they're not looking for like a put together movie show, Broadway show essentially. But I thought it was unique, I thought it was a different take, and I didn't think that any of it dragged on to the point where it was like, I came here to hear you sing. He sounds amazing live, he looks even better. Yeah, I have the biggest crush on that man. He is gorgeous. He can sing, he can dance, he can act. I don't know if that's a good thing, but he can sing and he can dance. And he can sing beautifully at that. But I think I was really blown away by the dancing. I just thought it was all like so cool and like so cool to watch. It was insane. His voice just sounded so good. So good. Like it didn't it didn't sound off from the recordings at all. If anything, it sounded better. Like, and one of our Uber drivers we weren't on our way to the concert. I think it was the day that me and my friend were on our way to Viejo San Juan. He said that for Puerto Rico as an island itself and what he's been doing for the genre, for the music, bringing it worldwide, like obviously Bad Bunny is top tier, the best. And this may be a hot take, but he said vocally, if you're putting the two against each other vocally, he thinks Rauw is a better artist, better singer. Maybe that's not that much of a hot take, but I know how stan culture is, so maybe it is a hot take. I thought that was interesting that, like, obviously what Bad Bunny has done for Puerto Rico and its history and, you know, teaching people about the history, educating, spreading the genre, you know, talking about what's going on in Puerto Rico at a national, global level, Bad Bunny is top. There's no one touching him. Vocally, Rauw's beautiful, like, and I kept thinking this at the same time, like, as I was watching it, he is so much like Chris Brown in his artistry. Well, Chris Brown is one of his influences, so there's that. But like in how he dances, his singing, the R&B kind of thing. He has a song with Chris Brown, actually. His doesn't have the controversies that Chris Brown does. So that's good. My takeaway, like the general takeaway, was that the whole concert was a love letter to salsa music, that it was meant to feel like a Broadway show, and it ended on a cliffhanger, so there will be a part 2. I wouldn't be opposed if Rauw released these as movies. Like, I would totally sit down and watch this as a concert movie, or just as a movie, I guess as a musical. And then also the second part, because, I mean, it's not necessarily spoilers because the tour's over, but what happens is Rauw meets this girl. Rauw's got this rival, and we keep seeing like flashbacks or like flash forwards, and then we see like how the story plays out almost. He's got this rival, and he's going to sing one night at a bar, and he meets this girl, falls in love with this girl. This girl's name is Maria. They both talk about Puerto Rico. Like at one point he talks about missing the island, have a special spot in the park, and he sings Carita Linda. Flashes forward, they start dating, then she leaves him in the middle of the night one night, writes him a goodbye letter, etc., doesn't hear from her. Then he next sees her out with his rival, and I guess she was supposed to like get him or get some information for her rival or whatever. It didn't work out that way. But so she brings him to the rival, like a fight ensues, whatever. She is going to point, I don't know how to say this. Anyways, so she's going to, I guess, shoot Rauw at the commands of the rival, but then at the last second she decides not to. She shoots the rival, reveals her name is Sofia Maria, chained Rauw Alejandro to the bench. She got away, the police showed up. Rauw had to like get freed by his buddies, but then ended up getting arrested by the police for the murder of the other guy. And that was kind of where it left off. And then the MC at the end was like, you don't think that's how it's ending, right? And we were obviously like, no. Obviously, Cosa Nuestra 2 hasn't come out yet, so I don't know. I think that it could go either the prequel, so like him leaving the island and, you know, like his journey from being on the island to landing in Nueva York, or it will just pick up right where that part left off. It'll be interesting to see what part 2 holds. Overall, I really liked the concert. I liked the way he broke up all the songs on the album. Like, it wasn't just like Cosa Nuestra, ba 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 ba. He broke them up, weaved them into the sections that made the most sense, and I totally think that they did. Like I said, it felt like a Broadway show, pero un poco perreo. He did a lot of salsa remixes, which I'm obsessed with, and Rauw, like, if you just want to release salsa versions of your entire prior catalog, like, I will listen. If you need one person to say that they will listen, it will be me. In his salsa section, he also did a rendition of Aguanile. I think I was also at the show where he made a comment about what was going on in the US with immigration, but when I was at the show, I thought I heard it, but I didn't catch the whole sentence, and I still haven't seen I haven't seen many videos online. I think I saw one. I'm still not entirely sure what he said. If I find a video clip, I'll input it here. He also mentioned the controversy with the cookies and how tourists were coming to Puerto Rico and killing them or looking for sprays to shut them up when they are the national frog of Puerto Rico. They are protected and they are like the sound of the island. Like, that is what I dream about. I miss so much not being able to hear it so much as often as when I'm there. I got to hear it a decent amount of time this past time when I was there in June versus when I was there in February. I barely heard it in February. I think I heard it the last night before I left, but I heard it quite a few times this past time in June, and that was beautiful. I love the sound of them. When my dad got post-surgery, my sister and I found him napping once, like listening to the sound of cookies. Like, it is so soothing. I just don't understand how anybody could hate it. And he just kind of basically made a statement that, like, if you don't like the sound of cookies, why are you even here? Get out. And essentially that's how people in the island feel, people in the diaspora feel. Leave the cookies alone. And okay, so he did a bomba section, and bomba is a traditional native dance to Puerto Rico. It is connecting with the ancestral spirits and the beat of the drum. And I've never seen it before that night performed live. Like, I've never seen it, I guess, up super close. When I tell you, like, tears in my eyes, like, it was so beautiful. The entire ground level, I guess GA level, had bomba dances in between the rows. They were on stage. There was the drummers on stage. There was a guy, and there was a couple of the female dancers who all like did a bomba section, and Rauw did his own little piece. And in the background there's all this beautiful like graphics of Puerto Rico. At one point they have the flag of Puerto Rico up, the flag that currently is with the dark blue triangle, and then it changes to the flag with the light blue triangle, and it was just, you hear the crowd erupt. Like, it was nothing. It was like something I've never even seen before. And with that just being that one little tiny section, that one song, I can only imagine what Bad Bunny's concert is going to be like. And I hate to keep bringing him up in this episode about Rauw, but alas, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was a show. It was a show. For special guests, we did not get Bad Bunny. Everyone thought we were going to, but we did not. Personally, the way that I see it, like, obviously I would have loved if he came out and they did get Pasaria, maybe Party, maybe a couple other songs, but I kind of now have started to understand that the two they're friends, but they're such big artists that, like, if one were to come to the other show, it would kind of like maybe overshadow. If Bad Bunny came to Rauw's concert, it would kind of overshadow Rauw's concert. So I can kind of see why maybe they didn't want to do that, even though I think just a Rauw Bad Bunny album is what the people need. Please. That's all I'm asking. Especially because they're now both in their like single healing eras. Well, maybe Bad Bunny's not healing, but they're both in their single era. Like, please give us that album. And they're both doing a little bit of salsa, they're both doing a little bit of perreo, a little bit of trap. Like, give us the album. Give it. At this point, where is it? But it was a show, and I would totally go see it again. But so special guests, we got everyone from Espresso Martini. So we got Marco and Parra and Jan Block. We got Alexis y Fido for Baja Paca, and then we got Latin Mafia for 212. So I think the only new ad for our show compared to the others was Jan Block. Oh, and we also got Omar Courts for Sex Playlist. I forgot about that. Sorry, I know I just talked about him for like 2 episodes. I already forgot that he came out. The only new addition to special guest was Jan Block, which I was happy about, especially because I loved Espresso Martini. I still do, but when the album first came out, I remember that was like a big one. And there were so many songs that I loved, like, oh my god, Cosa Guapa. Cosa Guapa. That is one of my songs, and when I heard it, I tried to take a video. Because I was like, I love this song, I love this song, I love this song. I'm like freaking out. Everything's like blurry, like it's a mess. Also, he gave a speech. He did give one of his speeches, because there's like videos that have gone viral on TikTok prior to my show, but of him like telling girls or whatever, like, you don't need him, you know, don't text him, blah blah blah, you're a strong, independent, beautiful woman, hardworking, you get your own money, like that sort of thing. So that was kind of funny. He also did this like, taught us this like dance for Committed. At first it seems really silly and like simple, and then he does this one move and everybody was like, whoa, hello. I don't know about that, Rauw. But yeah, so I think it was a really good experience. The drinks were really good. I just had a mojito. I don't remember which. It was like a play on one of the names. Seeing Latin Mafia, like I've become obsessed with them again because 212 is one of my favorites on the album. Like longevity wise, it has been here ever since. And having them come out and like hearing them or whatever, I just got like addicted to their voices again. And I was like, I love this song. I'm gonna go listen to more Latin Mafia. Hearing a lot of Vice Versa, loved. Desafogao, banger. Todo a ti, banger. Getting to hear that live, and then he like did a little salsa rendition of it, like amazing. Honestly, it was such a good show. I would totally go see it again. Absolutely, I would go see it again, and I would watch it too if it came out as a movie, probably more than once. Just letting you know, Rauw. Essentially, that is my experience on that. I really liked Jolie as a venue. I really enjoyed Cosa Nuestra, probably more than I expected to. I kind of went in with like no expectations, I guess, and I ended up loving it. And I also tried to do the same like I did for Beyonce, like not get so involved in looking at and watching clips online before getting to see it myself. I think that has really helped in terms of going with like an open mind and being like, I'm excited. And I think that these are artists that I've loved for so long that finally getting to see them live is like, whatever you do, I'm gonna be happy with it. And if you're gonna play old songs, I'm even more so there. Getting to sing along to Tu Con El was so fun. Rolling Stone named him Latin music's greatest showman. I definitely see that. It was a whole performance. I mean, he danced and sang the whole time and acted, and his only break was like the set changes. Gotta give him props for that. And on top of that, he sounded beautiful. Will I get over talking about how he sounded and how good he looked? Probably not. So that was just a little snippet on my experience at the Rauw Cosa Nuestra tour in Puerto Rico. Otra cosa, for sure. Just like experiencing the concert there was also incredible. A different level, like a vibe. I'm so grateful that I got to go there and, you know, that I got to experience that. One of my top concert experiences for sure. Also, one last thing, I did not talk about what I wore. So I actually wore the whole concert tour theme changed multiple times. At first it was like 20s, then it was 60s, and then it was 70s, and then it went back to 60s. So I just kind of went with the classic suit vibe. I had this bronze gold suit jacket from SLA The Label, which no longer exists. RIP, I loved you to death. I spent so much money there, 23 to 2024. I have the full suit, like jacket, pants, bralette, and that was my original plan, but it was so hot that I was like, there's no way. So I ended up just wearing the jacket, the bralette, and then a mini skirt from Manuex Studio, which is a Colombian made brand. This skirt was absolutely perfect, has like shorts as the perfect length. I'm obsessed with the skirt. I actually really liked how the outfit came out. I just wore my black Steve Madden flip-flop mules. Perfect. Did my hair naturally, did like a little bronze light makeup, and I was like in awe. And that day I had gotten really tan, so I was like, this is perfect. I don't have to spend too much time on my makeup, whatever. I actually really liked the fit. It was like semi on theme. Everyone was kind of touching on different things. Some people just went for more comfortable options. Some people went all out. There was a lot of 20s, a lot of 60s. There was a whole bunch. But yeah, I liked my outfit. That was what I wore, and that was kind of just like the theme. It was a lot more sophisticated, I guess, but it was cute. It was cool to see people dressing up or whatever, and you know, I finally got used out of that blazer. That's pretty much all I have on Cosa Nuestra for you tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember to follow at Booming with Bella on all social media platforms, and there's a link to all podcast episodes, podcast related things, playlists, etc. in those bios. And also follow at Isabella with 2 A's, L-A-I-N-E-Z, to see more personal content, my concert outfit, etc. And if you're listening, if you're watching, subscribe to wherever you are listening or watching, or follow, leave a 5-star rating, leave a comment, do what you gotta do to help push Booming with Bella out to more people. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys again all very soon. Bye!